Hey everybody, this is Seminary Kobe with another Berean review, and I wanted to go over something that I hear often, but I just heard it recently, earlier today actually, and before I forgot about it, I just wanted to show the incorrect interpretation of this particular verse that's often used by Israelites to, and not just Israelites, a number of people use it. I've heard a number of people use this, but they use this particular verse as a method of biblical hermeneutics or exegesis. They think that this is the way you're supposed to interpret the Bible. And what I'm talking about is the verse in Isaiah 28 that says, for precept must be upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little. And they take that to mean that you're not really supposed to read the Bible, in context, top to bottom, left to right, all the way through. They think that you're supposed to get a line here and then match a word or a sentiment from another section and put that together. And they say that's called rightly dividing the word, when really it's just reading a whole bunch of things out of context. But I just wanted to share something when it came up, how I responded, and then go into depth on why I said what I said. So let me show you what I was talking about. This is what was going on today on Berean TV. This is the IUIC and the LGB agenda. That was a pretty funny title, but check this out. It's already on the timestamp.
The two come together again and reunite and
live coming down. Tell Nathaniel I'm sorry. He got his converts. Mac y'all said precept must be a father. God, the name of Jesus. Precept must be upon precept. Can we find other references? Isaiah, Jude, Job 30:30, look not up.
So the context of what was going on and what we were talking about is they were reviewing some IUIC videos, and they were showing how various Israelites in the Bible were supposedly black, and they use Job 30:30, they use Song of Solomon chapter 1 verse 5, and instead of staying in context and showing that in that Song of Solomon it's actually a girl talking, they would just jump around here, there, everywhere to make it work. So what you heard this individual saying was line upon line or precept upon precept. Is there any other area that says this? They're trying to match this. So Berean's like, Father God, I can't believe they're still doing this. But that's the context of what's going on. Let's continue for just a little bit.
Upon me, y'all already, you know the scriptures. You want to go to all the scriptures? I can't make this up. This, and then Pastor Mike in the morning say we over here hugging. Then they want to call us huggers.
Affirm their commitment to one another. The book ends in chapter 8 with some of the most beautiful language in all of Hebrew poetry, where the couple expresses their exclusive commitment to one another by saying many waters or troubles cannot quench or extinguish or put out this type of love, because our love is as strong as death. So I hope this little overview will whet your appetite and will encourage you to study this little book on your own, as it highlights the joys of courtship and marriage. I plan to do a follow-up whether you're dating or you are married, so stay tuned for that video in the future. If you found this video helpful in any way.
All right, y'all, I see natty folk want to get the text in my I told them it was 90 days. That's what they get. Nope, I ain't going to answer. Berean, is it Seminary Code? Hit the link if you want to, what you call it, because
this is when I made the comment on here, and after he reads this comment, I'm going to go in depth on what I was talking about and why I made this comment.
Mac, y'all done turned my spirit off. Lord have mercy. I be like, it's too hard out here. Berean, isn't the precept upon precept line about how not to, of course, what the, as soon as I put the, what? Hey, what's up, Dunamis? You're muted, brother. Yeah, Seminary Cove. That's what it is. I don't know what's going on, unless that might even be Az. That might not even be Dunamis. I see as soon as I hit the thing, he put that up. Berean TV, isn't that precept line about how not to read the Bible? Absolutely so. And you would stumble. And they read it the exact opposite. Seminary Cove, this is okay, bro?
Okay, so what Berean was talking about is the comment that I had made. It actually said that's how you're not supposed to read the Bible. If you read that precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little, it immediately follows that says that it would make Israel stumble and fall back. And so I put in there, that's how not, they're giving you, Isaiah showing you how not to read the Bible. But they don't understand that. But either way, and that's going with their argument. it doesn't even mean that. It's like an incorrect translation, and I wanted to show a little more what I was talking about. So let me show you. And I also want to show you how I sort of do my research and come to these conclusions. So this is my logo software, and this is the beginning of Isaiah chapter 28. And I kind of wanted to read through it just a little bit so we can get a little bit of the context of what's going on. Now, this is, as you can see, Isaiah talking to the Ephraimites. And Isaiah is telling them, woe to the crown of pride, to the drunkards of Ephraim. So already you got to understand that Isaiah is talking to a bunch of drunks. They're faded. You know what I mean? They're faded. They don't know what's going on. So Isaiah is telling them, how are you supposed to teach people you're drunk? You don't even know what you're doing, right? So he's giving them all these things, and he's being very poetic. But he goes on a little bit, and the part that I want to talk about specifically was... I guess we can start right here in verse 8. He said, and this Isaiah is saying, we'll go up a little 7. He says, but they have also erred through wine, and through strong drink are out of the way. The priests and the prophets have erred through strong drink. They're getting too drunk. They can't handle their liquor, right? They are swallowed up of wine. They are out of the way through strong drink. They err in vision. They stumble in judgment. For all tables are full of vomit and filthiness. And remember that, vomit and filthiness, the tables are full of. So that there is no place to clean. Now, this is the King James, so you know that where you should know that whenever you see words in italic in the King James, they were added by the translators. They're not actually in the Hebrew, which is why when I hold on to this, no word over here is highlighted. But when it is there, you see how that yellow came up here? They're not in there. Anyways. So verse 9, whom shall he teach knowledge, and whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. Babies. He's talking about babies. For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little and there a little. Right? So it goes down a little bit more. I'm going to come back up here, but I just wanted to show you. So this is Isaiah saying that line upon line, but the word of the Lord was unto them. Precept upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line upon line, here a little and there a little. And there's the part that I was talking about in the comment on Berean. That they might go and fall backwards and be broken and snared and taken. That line upon line thing, number one, is a mistranslation, but number two is showing you how not to read the Bible, because if you do it that way, it's going to trip you up. It's going to cause you to fall back and stumble. So you're not supposed to do that. But I want to get into the translation of this. It says, for precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little. Now, that's the English, right? But we know that the Bible was not written in English. So I want you to look over here in the Hebrew. In the Hebrew here, it says, ki sa la sa la so, ko la ko la ko, sa'ir sem. So ki sa la sa, ka la ka, sa'ir sem. The words we're looking at specifically is sa, right? Because it highlights right here, precept, sa, and ka. Saw, ka. There's no word as saw, right? It doesn't mean anything. And I wanted to show you that, right? Just don't take my word for it. If you go to this word in the Hebrew, the saw, and you double click it on logos, it'll actually take you, well, the way that I have mine set up is whenever I look for definitions in Hebrew, I have it set to automatically go to the Hebrew and Aramaic lexicon of the Old Testament. It is the most authoritative lexicon in Hebrew. Under that would be like the Brown Drivers Briggs or the BDB. Don't do Strong's or any of that. They're not real lexicons. Lexicons are named so because they are dictionaries for biblical languages, so they call them lexicons just to be fancy. But Strong's doesn't do that, so don't use Strong's. Anyways, this is the most authoritative Hebrew lexicon that there is, and it shows saw on here, and it gives you a definition, and it shows you every time the word is used. Now, in saw, it tells you here that the meaning is disputed, but it tells you that saw is like a human command, and these little blue dots here says in contrast with mitzvot, mitzvah, a command, which is a divine command. And then it says here that it's a vulgar expression sounding like saw. This is just Sod. This is a Sod, so it has like a TZ sound, and this is a Sem, so it's an S sound. So it's supposed to be the same thing. Let's see if I can go down a little bit. Okay. So it says, going a little bit, where it said the meaning is disputed. For appropriate suggestions, see Genesis. This is a Hebrew grammar, and then this is the driver from the brown driver. But let me go over. This is what's real important to what we're talking about. In all likelihood, Ka and Sa are old names for letters of the alphabet, which a teacher would use in lessons. Here, Isaiah with a mocking significance. Isaiah is mocking them, right? And they're mocking Isaiah back. So this is how it means it here. And just to kind of show you, I wanted to show you in a different translation, because you shouldn't just rely on the King James. It's a really old translation that uses Old English, and we don't have to know exactly what the words mean. The one I like is the Lexham English Bible. This is the Bible that comes with the Logos Bible software. It's pretty literal, direct translation as much as possible. And look how they translate it. And this may give you the insights of what I'm talking about. To whom will teach knowledge, to whom will he explain the message? Those who are weaned from milk, those taken from the breast. For it is blah blah upon blah blah, blah blah upon blah blah, Gah-Gah upon Gah-Gah, Gah-Gah upon Gah-Gah. The Lexham Bible Dictionary, or the Lexham English Bible, is telling you that this is baby talk. This is gibberish. They're mocking him. They're saying that the way you teach Bible is just blah blah blah, Gah-Gah. Nothing. It doesn't mean nothing. You're not saying anything. Now that's just the translations, the grammar, and the definitions of these words. The next thing I would do is I would look into one of my many commentaries that could help with this. I already have Isaiah here, Bible commentary. I have a lot of Bible commentaries, and they're all like different tools for different jobs. These Be Comforted, Be Restored, that's part of the B series. They're more of a devotional type of commentary. Then we got stuff like the commentary of Isaiah by Ibn Ezra. So this is a rabbinic commentary. Then we have the critical and exegetical commentary of Isaiah. Now this one really focuses on the language and the grammar and the syntax and things of that nature. So it's critical when it comes to the grammar of it. That's good for one thing, but that's not what I'm looking for right now. What I want is more of a commentary of the interpretation and what I can glean from it. And there is no commentary better right now than the Hermeneia Bible commentary. It's like the standard right now. For a long time, it was the Word Biblical Commentary. Now there's other ones that are a little bit better. The New American Commentary, that's like a real evangelical commentary. So it'll have those lenses you got to be cautious of. And then there is the Anchor Yale Bible commentary. I really like that one too. But when I have the chance, because Hermeneia doesn't have all the volumes yet, but it does have Isaiah. So I want to show you something in here because, like I said, I think it's the best commentary. It's tried, it's proven. Look into it for yourself. Don't trust me. Go look into it. So this is the part specifically that we're talking about. And first thing I want you to notice is before they offer their commentary, they offer their translation. And I want you to see how they translate it. It says, to whom would he teach knowledge, and to whom would he explain the report? Those just weaned from milk, those just removed from the breast. Doo-doo to doo-doo, doo-doo to doo-doo, yuck-yuck to yuck-yuck, yuck-yuck to yuck-yuck. A little here and a little there. So it's starting to show that everybody looks at this as not a way to read the Bible. It's baby talk, it's gibberish, it's nothing. It's Goo-Goo Gah-Gah. You know what I mean? But let's see what they say about it. Anybody can just say that, but how do you prove that? So going into the commentary, I highlighted the specific section. So right here, the precise meaning of Lasa and Sa, or Laka and Ka, actually is Hebrew, so you're supposed to read it the other way. Sa and Lasa and Ka, Laka. But it's a little weird when it switches from English to Hebrew. But it says here, if you can't read Hebrew. Now, this remains hotly debated. Given the context, the words are presumably some sort of baby talk. But what sort? It has been suggested that these are names for letters used in teaching children the alphabet. Now, whenever you have logos, I mean, these are come in any books, but with logos, it's super simple and everything's hyperlinked. So you go here on this footnote, and it tells you, see W.W. Hollow in Isaiah 28, 9 through 13, and the Ugaritic abecedaries. In the Journal of Biblical Literature? Yeah, in the Journal of Biblical Literature. So an abecedary, for those that may not know, they are just little, I don't think my daughter has one in here, but they are just little papers. Now we have little tablets where you practice writing your ABCs. They have this in ancient days as well to teach kids how to write. They found a bunch in the Ugarit, and Ugaritic is very close to Hebrew, so they have a lot of parallels. So they says, how can we see this in Ugaritic abecedary? So they actually don't have this in logos, but if you know where to look, you can find anything online. So let me go back to online. Cool. I looked it up. Isaiah 28, 9 through 13, and the Ugaritic abecedaries. Now, JSTOR is a good resource for finding a lot of these academic journal articles, and this is where it comes up. So you click on the link for JSTOR, and there's a couple of ways. So this is just a preview. Can I blow this up? Let me do it one more. All right, where's it at? Can't even see nothing no more. Oh, it's right there. Okay. So this is just a preview, right? And I'm going to open it up. I just want you to see how you go through the process of actually doing this. So when you just click on the link and go to JSTOR without having an account or anything like that, you'll be able to see a little, but it's just a preview. So what you can do is you can set up a free JSTOR account to where they will allow you to read 100 articles a month for free. You can't beat that. You can't beat that. So you can't download them or anything. In order to do that, you would have to sign in through your school. I usually sign in through my school. I like to download a lot of this stuff and just keep it in, keep it in the vault. But we'll act like, this is like if you don't go to school. So continue with Google. I already made an account. Sign in. And instead of just showing you the preview, it will show you the entire article. See, you can't download. You have to subscribe to download. But if I were to sign in through Southwestern, it would let me download it. But I think I already have it downloaded. Anyways, Isaiah 28, 9 through 13, and the Ugaritic abecedaries by William W. Hallow. And that's, again, what Logos was talking about. So the basic abstract of this, does it have an abstract that we can just read? Read online. No? Okay, let me read the first paragraph. So language is symbolic. It invests a certain set of sounds. Man, y'all can't read this. What to do? How about this? Oh, man, that's what I'm talking about. All right. There we go. So language is symbolic. It invests a certain set of sounds with a corresponding set of meanings. The sounds may be called with syllable significant or significance or signifiers, for they do the signaling. The meanings may be called the significance, for they are the units signalized. To take just two examples from the well-nigh universe realm of baby talk, the significant ada, dada corresponds to the significant father. The significant ama, mama corresponds to the significant mother. So what this entire article about is going through abecedaries of Ugarit and seeing different ada, ama, ada, dada type things, and how they can see how babies talked in Ugarit. Like people really research all kinds of stuff, and this is just what this whole thing is about. Now, why it relates to Isaiah is more on the very last page, actually. So I'm going to go all the way down. What is the significance of Pharisee created for the, well, okay, so cool. It'll actually tell you what the significance is. Let's consider first the order of the letters. I'm not concerned here with the variation between Ugaritic and the later West Semitic order. Like I said, they have a lot in common, nor with the places assigned by the Ugaritic order to the additional letters of the system. They added letters, they took away letters, but it was about the sound. What did the sound mean? What did that signal? So this is what it's about. Now, going to Isaiah, let's get through this. All right, went up a little bit. Okay, so too much stronger. Is this exactly where it is? I don't want to read too much. Okay, so too much stronger candidates for letter names are provided by the forms saw and call in Isaiah 28, 10, and 13. For here, these forms not only defy etymology, they go against the rules of how words are built. Their very meaning has long been a crux of interpretation. They don't know what it means. The answer was first suggested by Kennett in 1933 when he recognized in these forms reference to the letters of the alphabet, 34. I'm not going to go that far into the rabbit hole. And in the passage as a whole, a sarcastic reference to a spelling lesson administered by the prophet. Following him, we should then translate, whom will he show knowledge, or whom teach a message? Just those weaned from milk or removed from the breast, for it is sade wav makes sa sade wav makes saw kof wa makes kof makes wa kof wa makes qua. The reason they're saying that like this is because whenever I showed you in the Hebrew, it says saw lakah. The last character was what's called a vav. Now they used to pronounce it a wav, so it could either be lakah or lakaw or something like that. So it gets deep, but either way, the word's the same regardless of how you pronounce it. So, but as G.R. Driver saw it, it is not necessary to divide the Hebrew from thus. It doesn't even matter. Let's see what it means in his translation. For it is sade, cough, 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 cough. A lad here and a lad there is closer to the Hebrew text. We may not then go one step further and regard the text just as it stands correct. Then on this interpretation, we need only translate, for it is saw for saw for saw, caw for caw for caw. Therewith, we have recovered in its proper order yet another fragment from the proposed ancient system of West Semitic letter names. So, what they're saying here is instead of the, like we say, aleph, bet, dalet, gimel, dalet, aleph, bet, gimel, dalet, hey, they have these sounds that make it more instead of an actual character letter. And they used it to teach babies. So that's what we're working with right now, baby talk. So let's go a little bit more. We stop here. So these letters were used to teach children the alphabet. But if so, why pick letters from the middle of the alphabet? J.A. Emerson suggests that these expressions may be a baby talk for... I'm not going to say that, but you can read. So it's baby talk for some stuff and vomit. And remember, we saw on the table, Isaiah was talking about on these tables are vomit and filthiness. So this seems more likely. The expression saw could be an infantile expression for excrement, and caw could be an infantile expression for vomit. His opponents are obviously picking up on Isaiah's earlier graphic portrayal of their drunkenness, and their response suggests that Isaiah, like a naughty child, is hung up on infantile bathroom language. So the expression se'er sam is also difficult. The word se'er appears to be a phonetic variant. This is here a little, there a little. This one doesn't matter too much. I really want to just talk about the saw and the caw. But yeah, so you should really look at this. If you get outside of the King James where it says precept upon precept, you will see. I mean, if you look at the Hebrew, you can see that these words are not even words. Ki, saw, la saw, call la call, saw la saw, call la call. That's the equivalent of our Goo-Goo, Gah-Gah. So when people are telling you that you must read the Bible precept upon precept, they have no idea what they're talking about, and they are telling you to read the Bible like a baby. So I want you to consider that from now on. Next time you hear somebody say that, go ahead and gently correct them. If they ask you to show them why, just take them through the steps that I showed you here. And I'll see you next time for another research tip on Berean Review. Shalom.